Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bust House Part 2. Um, Interesting side story. You might go into my profile and then view profile pics and go all the way back to my original profile pic, and that was actually taken during my 18th birthday party. That's it's many stories. But what happened was at the Bust House, we were all hanging out, and somebody said, like, "Hey, Slim, go get some cigars so we can have a blunt." I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem." So I left, went and got some cigars, came back, and I walk in and everybody's just giggling their asses off, and I'm like, "What the hell's so funny?" And they're like, "Well, you didn't see?" I was like, "See what?" Like, "Well, we put the picture from your 18th birthday party up on the front door." And I'm like, I walk over to the front door and I reopen it, and I'm like, "There's no frickin' picture here." So evidently, in between some time when I left, somebody they tipped. Well, my friends taped a picture of me stark ass naked running through my house, and I was like, that picture's nowhere here there, and that actual picture of me doing that is a photograph of a double, because the original that they stuck to the door, somebody came and frickin' took it, left, and didn't say anything. So somewhere out there, someone's got a frickin' Polaroid of me running stark ass naked through my house. So either way, I'll never forget. See, the Bust House itself had a rectangular living room, and like the TV was on the south side of the house, and we had couches in a U shape around it. And it was, I can't remember if it was a Friday or a Saturday night, but either way, I showed up, we went in, and we started having some fun, and there was a loud bam, bam, bam on the front door, and one of my good friends was like near the door and went like, "What the fuck?" And next thing you know, he got kicked in by the Russell Sheriff's Department, and he was like, "Oh my God," because he had a gun like an inch away from his face, and just like fell down. And there was another friend of mine that once they infiltrated, he was laying on a couch on the west side, and he just like rolled over and put up his hands. I was sitting in the northeast corner in a chair, and when the Russell Sheriff's Department kicked in the door and started pointing the gun at everybody, I was like, yeah, okay. I looked at the back door, which was like maybe 4 foot away from me, and I'm like, my personal record on a 400 is 58.9, which those of you that don't understand that, what that meant was I could open that back door, and within under a minute I could be a quarter mile away from this place. And I look back at the sheriff and everybody, like there was some girls, there was a kitchen and bedroom and everything else, and like when they stormed the place, the one officer stayed in the living room while the others cleared the other rooms, and everyone else like in the living room hit the deck except for me and one other friend. And I hate to name drop, but he'd be pissed off if I didn't. Chris Height. Me and Chris, we look at each other, and then like we look at the officer, and we're just like, you're not the first motherfucker to point a gun at us. And quite frankly, the other ones, whoever did, like, were on drugs or owed us money for drugs. So we're just kind of chilling like a cucumber. And so I look at that back door. I look at Chris. Me and Chris look at each other, and we have this mutual thought between each other, and it's like, you know what? If we hit that back door and get out there, the first one to trip the other one is going to be the one to get the fuck away. But, you know, right about then, fucking more sheriff's officers came through the back door, and it's like, well, fuck. So just me and Chris just sitting there nonchalantly, just kind of like put up our hands. We're like this. We didn't even stand up or nothing. And the deputies took us and threw us to the ground, as they should. And then they hauled us all in, and while after they like handcuffed all of us, I was sitting out front like screaming like, oh, fuck the police, fight the establishment, all this retarded bullshit. And across the way was Carter's shop, and there was a bunch of guys with like fucking lawn chairs and popcorn going like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? And I'm screaming all this anti-establishment bullshit. And you know, like the first video I'd said, you know, they put me in isolation and they put everybody else in the bullpen. Well, being in isolation, there was a friend of mine that got caught with some heavy stuff. And I'll never forget, I was there in the bullpen, or isolation, with my fucking hands out the front like, well, you guys gotta put me out here, da 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 da. And I watched 2 sheriff's deputies walk him into a room, and the one behind, there's one in front of him and one behind, and the other one, the one in behind, is putting on rubber gloves. And I just catch the end conversation of this, well, because we found this on your person, then that's why we got to do this. And it's like, whoa, someone got a roto-rooter up on that shit. But yeah, you know, the day after, guess what everybody did is we all returned to the scene of the crime, and you know, like, everybody's got their papers on what they were charged with, and everybody's got just these like 2-3 pages of like charges and stuff, and my pages of charges, because like with the crawling in the pad story, yeah, my charges look like a fucking paperback novel, and I'm just like, oh yeah, oh shit. But yeah, old times. And well, wait for part 3.